Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Jen Miramontes of CancerChampionFitness has been involved in sports and fitness her entire life. And for the past 12 years, she has been blessed enough to work as a coach, personal trainer, teacher, and medical exercise specialist. There is no health issue more personal to her than that of cancer. And because of her personal experiences of losing loved ones, she is fully committed to making a difference for those who want to fight this awful illness. That's why she launched the Cancer Champion program. Cancer Champion is an online program for cancer fighters and survivors and those simply hoping to avoid ever having cancer. Welcome, Jen, to the show. Hi, Jen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, yes. It's my pleasure.
All right. I absolutely enjoyed learning about you. I remember I worked with, wrote some media for you a little while back on your interview you did for Inspired Living. And I always love hearing about businesses and entrepreneurs in very niche specific markets. And just you have one of those out there where I didn't even think about that being a job somebody would have or a business they would have. But after hearing about it, you go, absolutely, that's a very needed one. And it's a really amazing story you had to get yourself there. And I love hearing about stuff. That's one of my favorite things I do in talking to people and doing PR and media and interviewing people is finding those unique businesses out there like what you have.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. So to get started, just tell us about Cancer Champion Fitness and how you're helping your clients. Just to introduce everybody to it.
Oh, okay. So Cancer Champion Fitness is an online fitness and nutrition and mindset program for people that are survivors and fighters of cancer. And, it's a program that's not there. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of fitness programs online that you can find. And there isn't one that's specific to people with cancer. And, I work with people with cancer one-on-one and in small groups and have been through the battle with loved ones of cancer and realize how critical this is to their health, knowing the proper things to eat, knowing what exercises you can do when you maybe just have had a mastectomy or you have a colostomy bag, or having a source that can help guide you through the journey and try and do it in a way that keeps you strong and healthy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and absolutely. And what is the outcome you're helping them achieve? I know like myself, if I worked with a fitness trainer, it'd be to either be able to compete in a triathlon or to get abs or to get stronger or to win some I do Muay Thai and some MMA stuff, so maybe to win one of those matches. Yours is different. You're really helping people probably live longer, be more comfortable. So what is the outcome you're helping them achieve?
Yeah. So, obviously there's various cancers and various stages of cancer. So it really isn't a one size fits all program, but I would say if I was going to nutshell it, the way that the outcome is knowing what foods to eat if you're trying to gain weight, knowing what foods to eat if you're trying to lose weight, because it could be either of those. Say you have a cancer that's making you so nauseous that you can't keep food down. What can you put in your body that nourishes you? So it's really the same thing with fitness. There's different levels. There's some people that, are going to download the 5-minute video where they're sitting on a couch or sitting in bed and doing leg lifts. And then there's going to be people that are like, hey, I'm heading into treatment and followed by surgery, and I want to be the strongest version of myself when I head in. So I'm going to be doing the 30-minute intensive. So it's not a super simple answer, but the bottom line is helping people feel stronger in the fight or after the fight, and able to figure out ways to meet themselves where they are. Mm-hmm. And also to have that community of people that they can turn to, because it is a community of people that are members of Cancer Champion Fitness.
Okay, all right. That's I like the membership and community side of it. And can you explain about why this is a problem, why that the problem exists out there of the people with cancer that are not knowing what to eat, they're not knowing how to exercise, or have these different problems, and you're providing a solution. That why is that a problem?
Well, sadly, cancer is everywhere. You can't possibly ask somebody if they, have not been touched by cancer in some manner, whether it's it's themselves or a close friend or a friend of a friend. And so because of that, oncologists are extraordinarily busy. Radiation oncologists are extraordinarily busy. Oncology surgeons are extraordinarily busy, meaning they don't have the time to be able to sit with a patient and say, hey, you've got, this is the surgery you have coming up, and these are the things that I need you to do specifically. Mm-hmm. So they can say to them, you've got this is going to be the treatment. You're going to really need to be careful to keep weight on, and also try to keep yourself strong, because we need to have strong muscles to have strong joints and bones. They know that, and they can tell them that, like, do your best. But then they've got to get out of the room and get to the next patient. And so that patient is standing there going, okay, I'm supposed to, eat better and get exercise, but I don't even know, like, for a lot of people, you work out already. For many, many people, they don't, or they're really afraid of, well, what can I do that's safe? If I've got cancer, there's this misnomer of I should probably rest and my body will, be able to fight better if it's rested. Well, that's actually not right. The best thing you can do for your body is have, those strong red blood vessels rushing through your body. So the need is just that there are cancer support centers at many of the medical centers have them, supportive units, but even then it's maybe once a week that they meet, and there are 6 other days that people need to know what to do with. So it's a big need, sadly.
Absolutely. What do you think are some of the biggest myths out there when it comes to helping cancer patients with their fitness and nutrition, like things that are facts or misrepresentation of facts that are spread by the media or even by the medical industry?
Well, I think the good news is that there's a lot less of that happening now, because there is so much more awareness around the importance of nutrients, nutrition, and movement when it comes to cancer. So I think probably even 10 years ago, there was a lot more of, like I said, you should rest, you should, don't get out and move, don't, get your body ready for it, and the other really interesting thing that you hear people say is, well, you know what, hey, you're battling cancer, eat what you want. And I get that, I do agree. I don't think that we need to deny ourselves completely of the things that we love. If you love chocolate cake or you're at a birthday party, does it, because you have cancer, do you have to absolutely say no to that? Of course not. But remember, people need to remember to have something that's nutrient dense first. Mm-hmm. It's something that nourishes your body first. I think, things like, probably the biggest concern for me is the chemical, the nutritious beverages like Boost and Ensure and those products. If you read the list, and so sadly that does still happen in the hospital setting. People are still being given these things that are full of chemicals and sugars, and cancer loves sugar. And it's just astonishing to me that this is still out there, when you can put together a smoothie that's full of calories, nutritious calories that will nourish them and not give them get natural sugars from fruits, and they'll feel better. I mean, at the end of drinking an Ensure, it's just this horrible chemical taste, whereas you get a smoothie that, if you say you like chocolate, and you get some cacao powder in there, which is all natural, and some bananas, and there's ways to nourish your body. So that's the biggest, I would say, the 2 biggest misnomers when it comes to fitness and nutrition.
Okay. And what about, you kind of hit on this a little bit now also, but what about like misconceptions that a person coming to you would have also, like an actual potential client coming to you? What are some common misconceptions they have about how they should proceed with their fitness and nutrition?
I think it kind of goes back to what I've been saying,
Right.
that it's just fear based, and understandably, I mean, a lot of people are just either have been battling or have just been given this huge news, and they're just afraid of what's coming. And I will say that it is very important to, if somebody is looking for somebody that's a one-on-one trainer, that they have a background in medical exercise or cancer exercise. There's specialties, and there are people out there, sadly not enough,
Right.
but a medical exercise specialist or a cancer exercise specialist can put those fears at bay, and we can understand, like, there are understandable fears. Like, they may have a port where they get their chemo infused, and there are things that you have to be careful about in that situation. Or they've had a mastectomy. There are certain things that you have to be really aware of, and know the different types of surgeries that happen with cancer. So that is a valid fear, and that I'll hear is like, do you know what to do? This is what I have. With nutrition, it's the same thing. What do I eat? Because there are all kinds of things out there. Turmeric is the answer to everything. And then you hear, well, turmeric can be bad for these cancers. So knowing, for them, it's just, I don't know. There's so much, WebMD and all the online kind of medical, I say with tongue in cheek,
Right.
out there, can be very misleading and dangerous, truly.
Absolutely, yeah. And one of you just mentioned a bit ago, some of the fears that people have when they come to you. What are some of those fears they have? Like, if these exercises are beyond their ability, what if it doesn't work? What are my kids? Are they going to be worried about me? Or am I going to get hurt or hit worse? Are there bad side effects? What's the risk to me for doing that? What are some things when people are coming to you to start working with you? What are some of those things that they're most fearful of that you have to talk to them about and explain?
Well, I think, honestly, the general population is a little bit scared of a trainer, because you see, the things on TV where there's this person yelling at them, or even just the idea of, you've got this trainer's undivided attention. So that's a little scary. And so I think that that's a really normal fear that people face when they've made this decision to go to a trainer in the first place, or any kind of exercise program. Can I do it? What will it do to me? Am I going to be, a really common one is, will I be so sore that I cannot walk for the next 3 days?
Okay.
Again, is valid and can happen. It can happen, if people do jump in and do too much too fast. It is a danger. Am I going to expend more energy and not be able to fight this cancer because I've used my energy in exercise? Again, I've kind of repeated that, but it's a valid and it's a valid fear, but it's also, the people need to understand that exercising reduces their stress. It helps them sleep better. I mean, there are study after study that show that it does help in the battle of cancer. People that exercise have better results.
Right.
That there's so many studies out there, great studies out there.
And how do you get them past those fears when they come to you with those sort of fears, like worrying if they are going to be sore and not able to walk, or these other ones that you had mentioned? How do you get them past them? What do you say to them?
I think the most important thing for people to hear is that you start very slowly. Just take it slowly. So if this is somebody that's never exercised, then 5, most 10 minutes for their first session.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So as far as like for me, this is an online program. So it's when we get a message from somebody that says, I have never exercised before, then we'll say, start off with just start off with the stretching. That's a really good starting point. And then maybe your next one is that 5 minutes in a chair. And then maybe you progress into the 10 minutes that has a little bit of, very, very low impact, because we really don't want people to start off too fast. We really don't. And again, based on personality, some people are like, I'm doing everything I can do and I'm going to do it twice a day and I'm going in. And then there's the people that are super duper scared. And I think that finding that medium ground of those different personalities, you want to back the people down that are ready to do maybe more than they might be capable of really quickly. And also give people the confidence that are truly scared that you're going to be okay. Muscle soreness is okay. That's actually muscles building. So when you have sore muscles, that's actually a really good thing.
Right. Okay. And can you share an example of you helped your clients overcome those obstacles and succeed? Like, do you have a specific, like a case study or person you can talk about? I know. And probably if you want to talk to your mom is a good one. I'm familiar with that story. When I wrote an article about you before, I watched the video of you on Inspired Living. You told that story. I wrote about that. And then in the preparation for this call, we talked about that also. And I think it's a great, great story.
Yeah. Yes. The answer is yes. I have quite a few clients that have had goals coming in. They vary. One of mine recently, actually, she's a member of Cancer Champion Fitness, and her goal was during treatment to run a 5K. And she was kind of a jogger and would go for a mile or two. And she just was like, this is something I want to do while I'm in treatment. And her oncologist gave her the A-OK on it. And so we were able to kind of work between, like, I'd say, do this video. And then, after your video, head out for a little run and come back. So you've got that cardio strength component happening. And then a lot of like the lower leg strength happened for her particularly. So she was one. Another one of our Cancer Champion Fitness members wanted to get strong enough to be able to fly to Hawaii and have a week in Hawaii post treatment. And so that took some doing to get her there because she'd lost a tremendous amount of weight. So being able to get her back so she was strong enough where her oncologist would say, I think you're strong enough to fly now. So there are several case studies of big success.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I love that. Running the marathon while she's going through treatment. That's amazing. That's impressive. Yeah. And just what inspired you to become a coach? Like just a short little story about what happened that pushed you or inspired you into doing this.
Well, there was two. Like getting to become a fitness expert was just my lifestyle. I went as a really young girl, youngest of 4 girls. My dad finally, the fact that he was never going to have a son, he decided that I would get me outside and like throw the football around with me and pass patterns. And so I started athletics at a very, very young age, and fitness is just something I love and am passionate about. In college I taught and had, did some training for people. And, but they going into the more of the medical field, this part of it was definitely working with my mom, which is a story that, it just was a matter of, there needs to be people out here that can help, people that have diseases, and so, that was the impetus behind the cancer exercise specialty.
Okay. That's great. I love that story.
Yeah.
And can you share a lesson that you learned early on that still impacts how you do business today?
The biggest lesson, as far as like how I do business or how I train,
like how you do business, like this is getting back into actually you as you're building this business for years, something you learned early on that still impacts how you run your business right now and today.
I would say the most important things I know about running a business is that I don't know very much. Or I need to recognize that and surround myself with team of people that know the things that I don't know. That would be the primary, I would say the primary objective. The second thing is if you don't love it, don't do it.
Right.
And I love, it's such a cliche, I realize, but I don't work. I just don't. I love what I do, and I'm really, really blessed to be able to do what I do. And then the third would be, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
You need to know what you know and know what you don't know, and meet people where they are and understand the human in front of you. I would say those would probably be the three most important components.
Okay, those are all excellent. And just wrapping up here in a few minutes, what's something that cancer patients could consider? What's the most important thing cancer patients should consider when evaluating a coach? When somebody has cancer, they said they want to get somebody help them with nutrition, somebody help them with fitness. They're looking at you, maybe looking at just looking at my hire coach in general. What should they look for? What are some important qualities that they have? I know you had mentioned before that they have experience. What are some other things that they should be looking for?
I mean, on the really basic level, understand their certifications and where those certifications come, like what organizations they're certified through. Because that's important. It really is. It can be dangerous. Getting the wrong trainer can be detrimental instead of helpful. But probably,
can you share which ones are important, or which ones you recommend?
Well, like I said, I mean, ACSM, NASM, like these are acronyms. American College of Sports Medicine, I think, in my opinion, is the best out there, because they're really and NASM is really good. There's several really good ones. Well, at least 3-4 really good organizations out there where it's challenging to get your certification. So I'd say those are good for just the training certification only. But if we're talking to people with cancer, as I mentioned before, they need to have a background in some sort of medical exercise specialty, which is a tough certification to get, but I would highly recommend that they try and find somebody with that. They're not as easy to find. And then I would say once you found that person that's certified enough to work with, the second thing that I would recommend is, well, what it's actually more important is you have to relate. I'm not for everyone. Everyone is not for me. And so I think that this trainer, whoever it is, needs to be somebody that you are very comfortable with. It's a partner for he or she is a partner to you. Mm-hmm. And if you just are not, if you don't find that you are on the same page and they're not meeting you where you are, then it's time to find somebody else. And it should be, there should be no hurt in that. And one of the things that I always say with a client that's super excited and wants to start work with me right away is I'll say, well, we're going to do a couple weeks with each other, and then you're going to evaluate whether we are a good match or not. And you need to understand that if I am not the person for you, that is okay. We'll look to find somebody that is the right person for you. So I think that once you get past the certifications, just make sure that they're the right person for you. Interview them, talk to them, just like you would a doctor. Make sure that they're the right person for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That's good advice for sure. And just a final thing, how can people find out more about you and Cancer Champion Fitness? Where is the best place for them to go? What should they do?
Well, the best thing is probably to visit our website, CancerChampionFitness.com. And so they can peruse. That's a landing page. It gives you some basic information about the program and me. And I've got 2 nutritionists on my team, and both board certified. So they're fantastic. One is her specialty is oncology. So they're both, if you just get a chance to look at just the like I've talked about credentials, everybody's highly credentialed and very knowledgeable when it comes to cancer. So they get a chance to, if you do that, and then there's on there, if you look, there's a free day of fitness. You could download that and they get a chance to see a idea of what the recipes are. One of the videos they get to do, they access to a live call. The other, another great idea is to join our page, the Cancer Champion Fitness Facebook page, because we do a weekly live call that is just for members, but every so often we do one that's for the public, that we allow the public to join in on. So a webinar every so often. So that's another great way to kind of get to know the team, because they get to be a chance to see us on a live call and ask questions.
Absolutely. That sounds perfect. That's I didn't know you did that. That's great to let everybody on some time to get to know you a little bit and participate and really see if that's a good fit for them. I like that. All right. Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us today. And I will put the link to your website and all information about you in the show notes, and link to this so I can find out more about you and easily get a hold of you if they are interested. And again, Jen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is great. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.